I have to go to the Shend. Here's a good one. Oh wait, no, that was 6 years ago. Oh, okay, let's check this. At 520. Oh right, this is at Cooperation Cup. Let me take out the game sound. So this is at Cooperation Cup. RX versus, there's Maimura, Tominaga, and Haitani. Jesus, in succession. That's ridiculous. So you'll get a good grasp of how he plays Urien versus Makoto's. So. Okay, well, we'll go back to hold on. So obviously, for starters, this is Maimura. He's obviously using the first super. So just be mindful of the way that RX plays this match. Like, you know, obviously he's not gonna want to get knocked down. That's number one for every player. So we'll see how he picks his spots, and you know, we'll take it from there. See, right there was the first baited parry off of the low short. I mean, he didn't really bait it, but you know, it's a guess nonetheless. For starters, obviously, you know, Makoto players don't really start with command grab off the bat, so you know, it's a clear cut, you know, it's a clear cut buffer parry. So you know, it's okay to buffer parry low about 60% of the time in this match. Always keep your movement, and low forward keeps Makoto at bay by stopping her dash-ins. Notice how he's always jumping, always trying to escape to build meter. And now that he has it, he pushes her into the corner for pressure, for more damage, and then he continues with the game plan. Constantly moving in order to So like I said, with the baiting parries, I mean, you can see right here that he just, obviously after a low strong, the only thing that she can do is Hayate or even super. So obviously a low parry into forward parry is the natural thing to do. But in either case, he's still buffering the parry regardless to avoid most of the setups. And then he just punishes clearly like that. He uses the EX bar so he doesn't have to use the meter until he pushes her into the corner. And even then, right there on top, he has the advantage, and he's going to win this match. He's going to win this round, actually. So. So for starters, low forward is your best friend to keep her out of range, and to stop her dash-ins, because obviously she's gonna want to dash in about, you know, half of the time she's gonna want to dash in, maybe more, just so she can maintain the pressure. So constantly jumping with roundhouse is a good way to stop her, because if it's a far roundhouse and if it's late, like for example, let me show you. If it's something like this, like from this distance, it's perfect, because even if she parries, if you do it really late, she won't be able to do low strong into Hayate because by the time they react, it's gonna be too late. So it's a good way to keep the space out, and it's a good way to build your meter. So once you get that meter, it's good enough to to pressure her back into a tackle into Aegis. So it's one of those things that you can look out for in this match because he's always going to be jumping to maintain that jump roundhouse, and once he gets the meter, with the baiting parries, it's also giving him chances to get damage and chances to build pressure. So you'll see that right here. Hold on, sorry. Nice. Fireball Fierce Aegis to push her back, overhead, and you can see it again. He maintained the same game. Jump roundhouse, low forward. The headbutts are used to gain your ground, to avoid like any low sweeps, to avoid any low strongs. So it's another way to stop her from jumping too. So a little like some jab headbutts here and there is gonna it's a good way to build meter too. So it always helps. So right there, obviously he got caught for escaping, which is what I was talking about earlier. So keep that in mind. Keeps his spacing. Low forward to stop her dash, headbutt to stop her jump, which is exactly what I just said. So you'll see. Roundhouse to keep her out. Low forward, right there from her dash. Headbutt for her jump. And then right here is the pressure. Push her into the corner. And there it is. So now Tominaga, he's gonna be using the second super. Now this is obviously Urien doesn't want to, RX doesn't want to be put in the corner. So you'll see that he's gonna maintain that same game plan where he jumps to keep her out, low forward to keep her from dashing, and standing fierce to keep her from dashing. So you'll see. Low short helps too because it's really fast too. I find that low jab can help too since it comes out really fast. Since you can just constantly go like to keep her from dashing. And then from there, if you get like 2 jabs, you can go into headbutt, and then into whatever. So that's one little advice that you can do. Nice. Max far range low roundhouse is a good thing to do because she can't really punish it too well. So yeah, now he's gonna want to stay out of there because he doesn't want to get 100%. See, always maintaining that jump so he doesn't get caught. Standing fierce to stop her from dashing. Another thing, standing fierce, it also beats a lot of her pokes. So from this distance, from max range, it's a good move to stuff out like her standing forward, her low forward, things like that. So it's a good poke to use to stuff things out, and it keeps her from jumping. So it's one of those things that you can use to stop her from, to stop like a good chunk of her options. So dashing, it stuffs out her pokes, it stops her from jumping, and max range you don't have to worry about command grab because it's too far. So. See, headbutt to escape. Jump roundhouse and jump roundhouse again to, you know, to stay off the ground. And see, in this situation, it's okay for him to be in the corner because she has no real answer for that, because you know she's not gonna dash up and command grab him right there because there's no payoff for it. Headbutt to get out of the corner, and now he really doesn't want to be there, so he's just trying to get out. So as you can see, he did that right there. Low forward to keep her out. Ooh, that jump strong was good. Pressure. Nice. Oh, he wanted 2 tackles into headbutt, but he missed it. So see, he's using his low forward to keep her out with the dash, and he just tackled just because it's safe. Because at this right here, if he was to do it, you know, he doesn't have to worry about any grabs or anything because she's not gonna want to like, just normal grab him into the corner. So he's just gonna keep her there, and you know, if a tackle hits, then he's good. If it gets blocked, he has pressure, and if he jumps, then you know, then that's a problem. But he had nothing to worry about because he wasn't jumping all the time. So. Alright, so just a quick rundown. Obviously, to stop Makoto's dash-ins, she really, you know, she wants you to stay on the ground. So low forward is one of those normals that you can use to stop her dash-ins. So low forward is a good poke to use, and standing fierce to stop her from dashing in. Standing strong, it's not really a move that you want to use except for on a wake-up game, or if you want to apply pressure with fireball into Aegis. So try to stay away from that. The best 2 normals that you have on the ground are low forward to stop her from dashing in, and standing fierce. But you want to use standing fierce sparingly to stuff out her pokes rather than to stop her from jumping, since it has a slow startup. Now, along with this, you also want to maintain the jump roundhouse and headbutts to keep her out and to stop her from advancing. So not only does this build you meter for your Aegis, so you can, you know, do whatever, but it also you know has the chance to keep her back. So, and the headbutts are just used for, you know, to stop her from jumping or to go under her pokes. So, you know, it's a good game plan to have to, you know, to jump roundhouse, back jump roundhouse like that, low forward, then headbutt, jump back roundhouse, low forward, headbutt, and just consistently keep this going until you get your first meter or until you get her knocked down. And then once you get her knocked down, you just want to stick to normal grabs. You don't really want to, like, you know, just do crouching fierce like right there, because one parry from her and, you know, she gets a command grab, and that's not good. So in terms of playing with Makoto's first super, on your wake up you don't really want to try to do much. So because, like I said, she can hit confirm you. So try to be careful with that. If you get knocked down, try not to escape too much, because she'll, you know, she can Hayate right there and, you know, into super. So on your wake up, just, you know, try to pick your spot, and if you find yourself some space, then jump back. Don't try to fight her back and, you know, try to look for parries or anything like that, because you will lose. Her normals are too good up close, and in terms of meaty, like they're some of the best in the game. So if she catches you with a meaty move and she sees you parry, she can go into super, and that's not that good. So if you get your space, just make sure you jump back and, you know, continue with jump roundhouse. Same thing, low forward, and headbutts, and also if you get close enough to do standing fierce to stuff out her pokes. So that's just a rundown of the game plan for that. Now going back to this, we'll see how Haitani plays it. Haitani, he mostly plays the first super, so it'll go back to what I was saying before.
連続で誠誠誠と3枚目吐いたに。
That's one thing to look for too. I mean, because Makoto's low fierce is one of her best pokes against Urien, because it beats out his low forward, because it can sweep it on reaction, and it beats out standing fierce too. It's a good poke to use, so you have to be careful of that. So just stay outside low fierce range and maintain. Just play the same game like always. Jump roundhouse, low forward, headbutt. And standing fierce right there. See? Headbutt right there. And you can see it right here that that's the basic game plan. And it's the way you want to play it when it comes to playing either average Makotos or at a high level. So it's a good it's a good guideline for the matchup. He uses taunt to gain more damage in case he gets a combo. See that? He's constantly jumping. Nice. Like I said, grab it. You continuously grab like that, and you get your pressure. He probably wanted Aegis right there too. See, constantly jumping to avoid the mix-up. And he's also, keep in mind, he's also buffering parries. Like once he lands, if you see him crouch a little bit, he's buffering a parry low to stop a low strong anti-Hayate or low short anti-Hayate, because it's one of the more common moves that are used for Makoto players to hit confirm into super, or to get pressure with Hayate. So at max distance, it's okay to buffer parry low against Makoto. So if you're like right here, you can do this and buffer parry low, and then just so from here, this is the main distance that you want to be at, because if you whiff it, one down parry and you can do standing fierce and you're fine. And you can see that max distance is perfect. Plus you have the low forward to stop her from dashing in, and the headbutt to stop her from jumping. So excuse me. Headbutt to escape. Oh!
画面端に追い詰められているのに強気な選択肢。これがアレックス。
Nice. See, buffer parry low. Now he wants his pressure into the corner, and here he's gonna get it. And now another Aegis into the corner. Sweet spot right there to get more damage. Oh! No, that's all right. No, that's a good breakdown of the match. Now, if you notice that RX, he pulled out the one move that's like the most significant against Makoto players, because not only does it stuff out like a bunch of her moves, but it takes away her most her strongest game plan, which is command grab or normal grab. And it's one of those things where if if you're like this close, you don't really have to worry about anything, because this move is just, it's, she can't punish it if she blocks it, and even on hit she can't punish it. So it's a good move to use if you want to, as a last resort. Not a last resort, but it stops them from jumping, but it stops her, her main option, which is command grab. So from this distance, it's perfect. You don't want to be too close, because she can just wake up and command grab you for free. So you don't want to do that. But it pushes it, like you can see that he steps back a little bit, and the normals get a hit. So it's a really good normal to use if you wanna avoid like the mix-up altogether, and if you're not sure. So just a quick rundown for the Makoto match. Just maintain this type of game plan where you constantly are in movement, not constantly jumping, but in constant movement. So low forward, headbutts, jump back roundhouse, jump forward roundhouse, but you have to make sure that all of these are max range. So the low roundhouse, the jump roundhouses, you have to make sure that they're max range, because if they're not, if they're too close, then you give her a chance to pressure you. Now, if you watch the Makoto matches again, you'll see that RX, constantly stayed outside that range. So when he stays outside that range, he doesn't really have to worry about any pressure situations or anything like that, because there's not much that Makoto can do, especially if if he gets parried on the late jump in roundhouse, she can probably low fierce and sweep him, but if she times it wrong, then he gets a block, and he gets a standing fierce to stop her from dashing, and then from there he gets another jump back roundhouse for free, and and then it resets the situation altogether. So low forwards are used to keep her from dashing, and to keep your space, and not only that, but it also builds meter too. So once you get your meter, after the first knockdown that you get, you have to make sure that obviously you grab first, and then from here you just fireball A just to push her back, forward fierce, and then another one, and she's already in the corner. And from here, this is where you gain control, because if she jumps, you can stuff her out. If she tries to dash at you, you can stop her. And buffering parries low from here will really help you, because from here the only move she can use is low strong, or possibly low fierce. But even then, all of them get beat out from down parries. So at max distance, this is your best option, and it's the most safest option, because she has nothing else to do. So if she tries to dash in on you, you have buffer parry and then standing fierce to stop the dash. And even if she doesn't, you have the low forward to space her out. So from there you have headbutt, and then you just keep it going as always. And then once you have your meter, tackle into Aegis, she can't do anything, into a combo. And that's the basic game plan for Makoto matches. I mean, try not to. So the basic thing is to make sure that you're not up close, because once you get up close, then that's it. The game is over. So, and that's for both supers, by the way. That's not just for the first super or the second one. It's for both of them. So in general, just keep that in mind, and this match will be yours for free. If you notice, you don't even have to play like RX either. Like, you don't have to do any fancy charge petitions or anything like that. Just keep the same basic game plan, and you'll win. It's the same. It's the basic, it's the basic game plan for every Street Fighter. Like, no matter what it is, just keep it simple and you'll win. So now, if anybody has any questions about specific situations, you can message me on any one of these outlets, and I'll be glad to help. So that's the Makoto matchup.